We'll start with Joe again on the left.
Hey, Jayson. I think you got to know Brittany Griner this past summer with the Olympic stuff. How well did you get to know her, and just what is your view of what she's going through right now? And I know you guys are wearing those shirts today. It's all within that context.
Yeah, being over there with the Olympics, obviously it was during COVID, and so we couldn't really go out and see other events and things like that. So after the games, after practice, we'd be in the hospitality room, men and women, we would just be up there watching games, playing cards, karaoke, things like that, video games. She's a great person to be around, right? She just enlightens the entire room with her personality. So it's extremely tough seeing what she's going through. And I know everybody sees and feels that, and obviously we're all, together in support, trying to, bring her back, to her family and things like that. So yeah, wearing those shirts today, in support of her.
Question on the right.
When you have a tough shooting night, do you have a temptation to come out in the next game and try to get going early? How do you respond to that in the next game, and how do you fight maybe some of the bad habits that might creep in after a game like that?
What you mean bad habits?
Any potential for maybe you want to shoot when you probably should pass or anything like that, or does that even come into play?
I don't think so. I had more assists than points last game. So I feel like I made the right play more often than not. It's not much to overthink. I feel like it's a lot of shots, open shots that I miss, that I, more often than not that I make. So it's not something that, I'm losing sleep over. We won. That was most important, right? It's the finals. That's all that matters. Obviously, I know I got to play better. I can't shoot like that every game, and hopefully that we win. So I expect to play better on, shooting-wise, but, just impacting the game in different ways to do my part in, helping us get a win. I will continue to do that. And, just read the game, read each play. That's how I, kind of approach next game.
Question in the middle.
Jayson, kind of along those lines, when you've had some tough shooting nights, for the most part, you bounce back right away. And even post-game when we talk to you, you kind of shrug it off and be like, look, I know that this isn't me. It's not going to affect me. What's the key for you, and how have you done that well to just move on so quickly? And what do you do to kind of clear your mind and become so effective so soon again?
Once you've done something before, you know how to respond. I've had some bad shooting nights in the NBA, right? So it's like I've been here before. I know what to do next game. I think a lot of it is mental. You don't, let it creep into your mind. I can't do nothing about what happened last game. I missed those shots, and it is what it is. It's all about how to prepare and get ready for the next one, right? And it's not so much about me and what I need to do. It's about what we need to do and how we need to be prepared, the adjustments that they're going to make and how they're going to respond, and we need to be ready and not relax just because we're up 1-0.
Dan on the right.
Jayson, Dan Wicke with the Los Angeles Times. For Ime to get to this position as a coach, as a player, he started as a guy who was on a 10-day contract, was his entry point in the league and had to really work for a spot in the NBA. How does that inform the way he coaches, that kind of experience? Do you get that sense, that type of toughness, that type of work ethic? Does that come across in the way he coaches this group?
Yeah, he's done a great job. Obviously talking about where he started, 10-day contracts and things like that. He's obviously had to work his way to get here, and he carries that sense of toughness with him, and tries to, and does instill that, into the group, every day. So I'm proud of him. I'm happy that we have him as a coach. He's a much better coach than he was a basketball player, and I think he knows that as well.
Gary on the right.
Gary Washington, Boston Globe. Jayson, Al said a few minutes ago that the best defense he played on, he thought, when he was in Boston was your rookie year, with 17, 18. What did you think of that defense, and what makes this defense in particular so different or special than the ones you've played on before?
Yeah, that was until then that was the best defensive team I played on, and I think we had Al back then and Baines, right? How much of a force he was, in the paint. I think what's different now is Smart is now the defensive player of the year. Not to say he wasn't a great defender, but he's gotten better as well as I have, and now we have Rob and JB is a much better defender. And I think a lot of those core guys just got older and more experienced. So that was a great defensive team, and I think makes us a better defensive team now that the individual defenders are better. Obviously, with the different concepts that we instill in our defense now.
Last couple of questions. We'll go with Tim on the right.
Hey, Jason, two things quick. First, you guys have talked all throughout the playoffs that you struggled in third quarters. Golden State's obviously always been pretty dominant in them. What do you have to do differently to not have what happened in game one, where you had to dig out of that hole in the fourth, carry over, to game two and beyond in this series?
I say it all the time. We just got to be more aware, right? And it's one thing to talk about it, but we got to go out there and do it, and just not ease our way into the third quarter that we do a lot of the times. That's some of my bad. Yeah, I think we just can't ease our way into the third quarter, right? And wait to get warm and wait till we down, X amount of points to be like, oh shit, we got to figure it out and start playing faster and things like that. We got to just be more aware of that, to start the third quarter.
You guys have all talked a lot, whether it's you or Jalen or Marcus. These guys were with Al the first time he was around, how excited you were for him and how happy you were for him to get a chance to be back in the finals. It's obviously been a couple tough years for him, bouncing around. Now he's back here. What has led to kind of everybody being so into that moment for him and being so excited for him as a guy?
I was like the best teammate ever. The ultimate professional. Obviously at 35, just how he's performing, that's the testament to how he takes care of his body, how he prepares every day. And Al is, the same guy that he was today that he was my rookie year, just welcoming everybody, doing whatever is best for the team, sacrificing touches for himself or whatever. Al just wants to win. And, just to see how happy he was, to get to this point, I felt like I had been playing forever, finally getting over that hump. And it's like, I only been doing this for 5 years. It's his 15th year. So I could only imagine, what he was feeling getting to this moment.
Last question, Brian on the left.
Jason, did you feel the Warriors' strategy was to actively make you a passer in that game?
I don't know about actively. I'm certain that, they don't want me to just play one-on-one and things like that, show a crowd, bring help and things like that. But I feel like I did get a lot of open looks just from kickouts and things like that. But I'm sure part of the game plan, make me a playmaker and not let me be comfortable. It's just something I feel like every team has, more or less been doing throughout the playoffs. So it's not necessarily something new.
Thanks, Jason.